Hello again, everyone. This is Gilmer, and this is episode 88 of my Let's Play War in the East. I am playing as the Soviets, and we are playing the Grand Campaign. And the first thing I want to mention is one of my viewers sent me a link to some information on playing as the Soviets or playing as the Axis, and I read a lot of it, and man, I didn't do a lot of that stuff. And I think that I would be in a hell of a lot better shape if I had done a lot of that. And some of it I can't even do now because it's too late to do it. If I had done it at the beginning of the game, I would obviously, like I said, be in a much better position than I am now. Some things I can still do, and I haven't done them yet. It's going to take a pretty good while, and I might wait till this weekend to even attempt to do some of it. And some of it has, it's related to what level of replacement HQs get, what HQs to use, how to build your fronts in HQs that are reporting to the fronts and things like that, and what's the best size of each each HQ and each front and things like that. And also there was one suggestion about getting you should have no leaders in your active units or active HQs that are using an infantry rating of 4 or less, which I know I haven't done that. I know I have several that are infantry 4 at best, and probably a couple that are even less than that. So I haven't really been doing that, and it's going to take a pretty good long while to get that finished when I actually do it. Now, the thing that I was faced with, which it didn't take me very long to make this decision, was do I start over? And then using that information, uh, do a better job. And I am not going to do that. This is a learning let's play in the sense of I know I'm going to make mistakes. I know I have made mistakes, and that is part of the learning process. Those things that I did not do that I am unable to do anymore, such as there are certain things that I should have done in 41 that by the December of 41 they were not available anymore. And off the top of my head I can't remember which ones they were, but I know that I'm not able to do those anymore. So it's a learning process, and I know that if there are any experienced War in the East players watching this, they probably have been gritting their teeth, but I kind of think that I probably don't have very many experienced players watching my Let's Play because, one, they already know how to play the game. Two, they already know if they like to play the game, which really number two was the one I would do that what I was doing this for in the first place, is just to let people see what kind of game it is, if they would enjoy it, that type of thing. Well, those experienced players already know all that, and obviously they're not going to be watching my game to learn the tricks of how to play, because obviously most of them know a hell of a lot more about winning as the Soviets than I do. Having said all that, I think it's just, let's just crack on and just keep on playing, and I'll try to implement some of those things by this weekend, and I'll kind of let you know after the fact what I've done. Some of the things that I've done, I'll write down some notes, which was a suggestion from somebody else, but more in the sense of just play the game, take notes while you're playing, and then record over it, which I could do that, and that is something that would probably let me be a little bit more polished, and I know some Let's Play YouTubers do that, but I'm more of a, this is not only just for the people I'm showing this to, this is also to help me a little bit as well. My public speaking is probably not the best in the world, or I know it's not the best in the world, and this helps because I'm trying to get to the point where I don't use the not really words. The ums and ahs type thing, those aren't words, and those really shouldn't be in any kind of speech you make. I notice that some politicians even still use and ah a lot, which is the more you use it, the more annoying it is for the people listening. So I'm using these Let's Plays also kind of as a teaching tool for me to be a better speaker, especially extemporaneously, and also to make sure that I'm pronouncing words. See, there you go. Pronouncing words the way they're supposed to be and using them the way they're supposed to be used in speeches, in just common everyday conversations. So, having said all that, I'm pretty sure that the last time I ran an episode, it was time for the AI turn to be processed. I don't think there's anything left for me to do, or I am pretty much at the point where I want to run an AI turn at this point. So let's do that. Since it's very early in the Let's Play, I think we will definitely get this one in under 30 minutes and also have some extra time after the AI runs their turn to run a few attacks and also comment on what happened, all the disasters that have happened against me. Hopefully not too many, but as we can see, as we have seen, I'm still getting hit pretty hard by the AI in several places. A lot of their units are still way too strong for a lot of my units, and they just walk right over them. And hopefully, and here's a perfect example. They didn't rout, but they did retreat. Wow, they held. These guys will not hold. Nope. Can't hold them back. 15,000 of their 60,000 is not going to win a battle. 29,000, we can win that battle. 90 to 22, no. Not even close to holding them. Wow. I wouldn't have expected that, but I would have expected that. They're going to probably... Wow, 248 men, really? That's one other thing that... Wow. See, I'm still a little discouraged in the fact that they have so many movement points, even though they really should be almost out of supply, if not completely out of supply. But what are you going to do? And my cursor is way over here. Hopefully completely out of the way for everybody viewing. Weather's getting colder, although it was 85 today in my city of Atlanta. 85. And at pretty much the end of October. Well, 3 weeks in. 2.5 weeks in. That's pretty warm. But it's getting there. Couple of weeks, well, next week we're going to drop. The temperature's going to drop about 15 degrees. And then it'll be very cool. I'm still running the air conditioning. Partly because the insulation is so good, it's keeps the inside really warm unless I'm running the air conditioning. But I guess I could shut it off and open the windows, but at 85, that's a little high for just having the windows opened. A lot of interdiction. It's nice to see. We're building a pretty good line. Well, you can't really see it. It's jumping all over the place. But we're building a pretty good line down in the lowest breakthrough portion. And I'm hoping that will be good enough to slam the door on those guys. Oh, I'm loving this interdiction. I read somewhere that interdiction does sap their movement points. Look at that. If they leave that, well, you can't see it, but if they leave that as open as it looks, they really, if they were a person, they are really gambling on these breakouts. There we go. Some more attacks. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that area. That area looks pretty open. So who knows? Yeah, if I had done all the things that I could have done that these experts had written down, it's basically what it is a post on the Matrix forums that has all the best strategies of all the experienced players for the Axis and the Soviet Union. And of course, I was reading the Soviet Union type stuff. And there was a lot of great information on that. And actually, I mean, it's on one of my episodes, but posted by somebody that's a viewer, not actually me. So I should actually post that to this episode and maybe every episode and say, this gives you a lot of great information on how to play this game, because I was reading through it and I was just like, man, there was no way I would have ever known instinctively to do some of that stuff. It's mind-boggling, all the stuff that you need to know, and it's mind-boggling that people can figure that stuff out. So it seems easily for them, but for me it's not very easy at all. It had a lot of information on what to build, when to build it, what replacement levels you should, whether you should put, certain units. I mean, they were saying that you should put almost everybody on refit and not build as many units, and that would make all of them stronger and also help them on gaining experience over time. The only caveat to that is you don't want to do it for units that you know are going to be destroyed or surrounded or things like that. So you got to kind of be careful on which ones you do it for, but you want to do it for the vast majority of your troops. And also they were talking about how you should have maybe 10 to 15 guard units by September of 1941. So I don't think I had that. I think I lost pretty much every battle I had, but if I had followed their advice, if I had known their advice and then followed it, that would have been what happened for me as well. But hindsight is 2020. So and they're making some of my guys retreat and some of them are out, but it doesn't seem like the overwhelming just avalanche of attacks with just pretty much everybody routing or retreating as usual. That's usually happens, but we're still losing a few. There's a route. Damn it. So I'll post that link on this episode just so you can take a look at some of the stuff, because it, as I mentioned, it also has information for the Axis side as well. So if you're an Axis player, and it has a lot of good information. If you're playing an actual another person instead of the AI, a lot of this stuff will work obviously against the AI, but it also gives some pretty good information about playing against a human opponent, and it's very fascinating, some of the stuff. And probably if I had followed all of that advice, I probably should be playing this on an even stronger level. But since I haven't followed that advice, playing it on normal is probably a good idea. I mean, when I first started this, somebody told me, said you should at least play it on normal. Don't play it on easy, because he said everybody plays it on easy for their let's plays because they want to show themselves winning. And so I did go with normal, and uh, the AI has been a pretty big handful for me as a pretty much a, I would say, inexperienced player. Yeah, as I've mentioned before, I have played several of the scenarios, but I had never played the grand campaign one time at all. And I think I did Road to Smolensk about 3 or 4 times. I played Road to Minsk about 15 times, which is 3 turns, so it's nothing. And I think I did Road to Leningrad maybe 2 times, and then I did, and this was the PBEM that I played, was, I forget if it was Operation Uranus or Blue or whatever it was, but whatever it was fairly late in the war, maybe late 43. The Soviets should be attacking and pushing the Axis back fairly easily. And of course, I kept thinking, oh, the Axis is going to weaken as the scenario goes on, and they didn't weaken enough, and I had wasted all those turns just sitting there not doing anything, and I frittered away any chance I could win the game. I should have been attacking on all fronts immediately and just tried to wear my opponent down, but it didn't happen. So, wow. Retreat or route. Great. All that work getting them across the river, and it's not going to really hold. Maybe I shouldn't even worry about that anymore. I'm too worried about getting people across that river. Maybe I should just keep pressing on in the south. Hold. There you go. See, they got this unit right here that kind of broke this bubble I had these 2 units in. So now, at the beginning of my turn, I'll be faced with either making them just route or trying to pocket them again. And I'll probably just settle for the former, because I don't think I can keep them pocketed with this stack of 2 units being so strong as it is. But either way, those units will probably be freed up after this, as long as these 2 units are not strengthened too much by having contact with their lines again, which could happen. And it's my turn. Okay. So as you can see, pretty much every time I move across this river and try to advance, my units just get obliterated. But I can always do something to them as well. Although theirs just gets pushed back, unfortunately. But see, those two units are very, very strong. So there's not too much I can do at this point to them. So I'm wondering if I should even worry about trying to do something there. And of course that unit held. This unit is very... Shit, they're very strong. That's scary. Because there's only a 2 sitting right there. Of course, this unit is very weak. I wish he would shatter at some point. Seems like every time I attack those guys, they just kind of, we're gonna move back. We're not admitting defeat or anything. We're just gonna move. We're gonna attack in a different direction. So what do we have down here? Let's just go down here and take a look. Oh well. This is really not looking good. See what I mean? I don't have any... I don't have a chance to attack them again. So I can't really do anything to those guys every single time that happens. But we are going to have a shot at this guy. Although he's just going to... Yeah, they routed. So... So we're just going to try to make as many of these guys just rout. Oh, he surrendered. Nice. There you go. So we've had a couple of surrenders. These are all my units. And they're out of supply. Damn it. Now I don't know where I was. This is not good. Damn, this is not good. Oh man, this is a bad deal. I'm not even talking, I know that. But this is not a good deal at all for me. Where is that bad weather? I know it's a couple of weeks out, but damn, I need it. It's nice to see when I get pocketed, I don't have, my guys can't do jack shit. When they get pocketed, they still have strength and power and movement points. So well, anyway, this episode's over. It's very disappointing. See, he's got 10 and 33 movement points. I'm not really sure how that works. He has no connection to supply. So we're going to move these units over, and hopefully they'll stem the tide of pretty much. See, I don't have anybody on this side. $15 and $35. I mean, I know these guys still have supply, but they are pretty far off. Off rail range 10. So, I'm not sure I understand that, but we'll deal with it as we can. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.